Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another episode of What's the Story. I'm Sharif Islam and you're watching LB24. Now on this episode we will be watching or looking at the current situation in whole of the UK, all the riots that are happening, mosques being attacked. Now what's the reason for this? Let's look at the premise and where did this all start from. Now, following the brutal stabbing of 3 girls in Southport, namely Alistair Silver Aiga, Elsie Stanku and BB King, terrible riots and protests have spread across the country. Now, this was fueled by misinformation claims that the attacker was a Muslim illegal immigrant and was on the MI5 watch list as well. This, however, was false, as the suspect's identity being revealed was that of Axel Ruda Cubana, that's the name, and he's a 17-year-old born in Cardiff to Rwandan parents. And nevertheless, it didn't stop far-right groups taking to the streets and causing mayhem, attacking Asian shops, stores, burning vehicles and hurling deadly missiles at the local mosques. Since then, multiple protests across the country, Rotherham, Belfast, Sunnyside, there was one in Belfast today actually, and the list goes on. Now, why is all this happening and what did the ethnic minority, especially the Muslims, do to inflate this? And as I said, the information was wrong, but who is really behind all this? Now, I've got 3 guests with me and they're all activists. They're very important community members who have been in the scenes of fighting racism for the best part of their lives. And I've got with myself here, Jalal Rajonuddin, who's an anti-racist campaigner and former Deputy Leader of London Borough of Tower Hamlets. I've got Shiraj Haque, who is an anti-racist campaigner. And then I've also got Farhana Zaman, community activist. I'd like to welcome all of you to the show, first of all. Thank you for coming. Now, Jalal Rajonuddin, what is your position in this? What do you think? What can you say to our viewers? Why is this happening?
It's happening because mainstream political party leaders have been irresponsible. Race and migration has been made into a mainstream political issue over the last 20 years or so. And although in reality all the economic, social and political problems that we face in this country are not as a result of migrants being here. If anything, we have got to establish the context for migration in this country. Firstly, migrants happen to be here because of the colonial past of the UK, colonizing Asians and blacks. And that is the relationship, one of exploitation. Okay. And then when there was a shortage of labor in this country after the Second World War, migrants were recruited from then third world countries to come and support the industrial growth and development in the UK. And even in the recent years, migration has resulted from policies which were pursued by successive governments to fill jobs in various sectors of the economy, whether it be hospitality, catering or care. Right. Now, these policies were pursued by the government because many of the jobs that are available are not being filled by people who are natives. And so when that situation arises, you have to recruit migrant workers. So because the migration issue has been made mainstream by party political leaders, it is easy for the far right and the racists to scapegoat Asians and black people. And what they are now doing is that they are using the divide and rule card. Right. So they are trying to whip up racism in such a way that the whole community turns against the Muslims.
Because it seems very, surprising that even though the actual news comes out that it is not a Muslim or illegal immigrant. In fact, the perpetrator was born in Cardiff to Rwandan parents, as I mentioned. He was born in this country. So still, we have the rioters coming out to the streets. And rightfully, you're saying that obviously there's a bigger picture. It is being fueled from behind. I mean, why the rioters are not stopping? I mean, are they all being controlled by one whole scenario here, or what is this?
Well, when you use language that has been used by people like Nigel Farage to stoke up racism, then the consequence will be that the far right feel that they are encouraged to rampage on the streets of the United Kingdom. And that is what's happening at the moment. And these people feel encouraged because migration has been made a mainstream political issue by leaders of mainstream political parties. Now, the main problem that is facing this country is the lack of industrial growth, lack of economic development, and that can only be tackled by creating opportunities.
The ethnic minority or the immigrant or the migrants are being blamed for this. Let me move to Farhana Zaman, and you have been a community activist. Can you just mention a few things about what kind of activities that you've been involved in, and then we'll address the current situation?
I've been involved with saving the mosque from EDL, organizing demonstrations. I've been involved in celebrating the Battle of Cable Street, so I work closely with Jewish background socialist and
so
trade union.
When you say saving the mosque from EDL, is that the...
That was a few years back,
right.
I think, was it 2015?
When the attack happened in East London?
In East London.
With a big coach or a bus or something.
Absolutely.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah. And my job is to, let the young people and the women, empower them to come in and let them know. I've been involved in many campaigns. Yeah. I'm part of few organizations as a trustee. Mm-hmm. I would do charity work. But, at this current moment, I'm here as an anti-racist campaigner. Right. I am nowhere near my two legendary brothers here, but, with their leadership, I'm sure we can do so much. Yeah.
But I mean, look, you're a sister, from the background, and a Muslim sister as well, and we do fear for you guys. I mean, how do you feel walking even today you came out? How do you feel with all these things that are happening? I mean, obviously you feel fear for your life. And what would you say to sisters out there?
Yeah, before I talk on that, I'd just like to say that briefly touch on what you said. So there was the killing, it started off from Southport. The perpetrator targeted 18 to 16-year-old community centre where they do dance classes, yoga, things like that. So very innocent location. And they targeted young children, 8 to 11, killed 3, and my heart goes out to the victims and their loved ones. And it evolved, so the perpetrator was not Muslim. He was actually Christian, attendee of the church, him and his family, British, like you said, Cardiff-born person, young person as well. Instead of investigating why somebody would go to such a place and murder these innocent children, instead of doing that, we had a lot of fear-mongering. We had fear-mongering. From fear-mongering, it all started with the riots and everything. It seems to me
that these thugs, and that's what they really are. I mean, it seems to me that they just need a reason to, commit these atrocities and only blame it on the ethnic minority. Am I right?
Yes, they need a reason. Most of these rioters, they come from, people that are on the dole, jobless, and maybe lacking in degrees, education, more from poverty. So there is a blame game always. And the scapegoats, unfortunately, being a Muslim myself, it's very tormenting, but Muslims are, no community should be scapegoats, but at this current, for a long time, it has been Muslims. And going back to your question, how does it feel? It's heartbreaking, it's personal, and being the woman I am, I want to do something about it, and that's why I'm here.
Thank you.
And from other sisters. Some sisters don't even like to go out, and there was, I don't know how much of it was true, but apparently they're targeting hijabi sisters with acid. My daughter doesn't want to like go out much. My nephew's children from Birmingham, talking to my 12-year-old daughter that they might not come to London again because of the EDO. I mean, that is gross.
Nobody needs to be in that situation.
Nobody needs to feel like that, especially women and vulnerable children.
But it's not just London. I mean, London is probably the least of the areas because it's happening most of it's happening outside. I mean, London, we had an anti-demonstration yesterday in Walthamstow, I think, many people gathered. But let me just go to Shiraj Haque, and you have been an activist in the East London area for the most part of your life, if I can understand. And also, if I'm not mistaken, you were a part of forming the Al-Tabali Park as well, and all the activities that go around there. How do you feel with this situation? Is it history repeating itself? I mean, it's repeated itself a few times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, obviously, I can see some similarities to what we had in 70s. Of course, some similarities. The similarities in relation to the incitement of violence, the kind of narrative created by some racist propagandist. Even the media plays a role in it. You got Uncle Nigel prior to election. The Uncle Nigel was also on the forefront of generating some sort of racist vote. That was his bread and butter. I mean, that's the vote bank he was relying on. And imagine the Essex, that's where he was elected from, and that's So he failed about 8 occasions, and he thought that he's got enough reason, and he could go out and play that game, that particular game of the race and hatred towards Muslim due to the situation in Palestine, obviously, the Israeli atrocities and so on. We had quite a bit of activism from Bangladeshi and the Muslim population in the UK compared to any other European countries. So that's something they thought that despite the fact some of the politicians from Conservative Party, they came out in support of Israel, regardless of humanitarian consideration, regardless of the criticism they faced, bluntly they came in favor of that. So that has given those racist, the Islamophobic, more ammunition. That is when our politicians coming out and saying, when you have the Asians origin, politician of Asian origin, such as Suhela Gabarman or Babarman, whatever you call it, I don't understand what her real name is. Those opportunists, they are playing and been funded. They're playing and funded by the Zionist sort of sympathizer or the organization who wants to, they buy politician anyway. So they're clearly siding with wrong people, you understand? So she made so much criticism of Muslim population. She criticized the way we behave, way we work, and even, so that, collectively, before the election, that's what happened. Same thing happened. We can see similarities. 1979, when we had election, Labour Party lost. Margaret Thatcher came into power. She took the opportunity of mismanagement of Labour government. And the Labour government was faced by union. The union was really paralyzing Britain. I don't know whether you probably didn't. You couldn't probably see this. But the rubbish, the beans and all that, the rats and all over the place. So they created. The poster used to be. There was a propaganda poster from Conservative Party. Yeah. This is what you get if you vote Labour. You understand? The people lining up and so on for clearing the stuff and so on. Plus, Enoch Power. Similarly, Uncle Nigel. There was an Anino Powell kind of character. He was a minister for Conservative, Conservative Party minister, isn't it Conservative? And then when Conservative wasn't in power, he was quite formidable character. He came with the racist agendas again, and he was quite famous. So imagine, those days, our number was very small anyway, comparatively what we are here now. Number was small, and I would say, although
this is exactly what I mean when this is why I'm going to go back to when you used to be an activist at that time in the 70s. We could probably understand, because the influx of migration and people coming from East Asian countries, it was so huge, and obviously as Jalal Bhai mentioned earlier on, it's because of the opportunities that this government gave us, or the UK gave us, and that is because of what they did to those colonized countries. But are you surprised that this is still happening now, after all this that we have given to the UK? I think that we've made the country vibrant.
Yeah? Same thing happened. The industrial, the economy based on, the UK economy based on, say, UK, mainly UK, we're going to work on that one. You had some of the industrial sector. Far north, we used to call powerhouse of the economy of UK. The powerhouse declined, collapsed. The only the factories, the steel industry, brick industry, the many other heavy machineries which once British used to proudly produce, had a serious decline, taken over by Japan, Korean, and so on. But again, that continued up to a certain point. The point was a lot of people becoming unemployed. And the mining, the only sector remained was mining. The mining was and mining was very dangerous situation. So you can realize that people who easily could earn money by doing something, they lost that sort of level. We had the same problem, though in London those days, East London, we had about 8,000-9,000 Bangladeshi or Asian in total. I mean, in terms of the Tower Hamlet.
Many individual attacks at that time as well.
But because population is less, but even then what I'm saying, our entire community did not participate on our fight.
Right.
It's a sad story at the time, until Al-Tabali was killed. Prior to that, we was organizing resistance. And some sort of, but number was very small, young. When Al-Tabali was killed, we managed to create a different kind of narrative. We said we are here to stay. The difference between our first generation and us is, we thought we have come with hope. We have come to UK with different hope, different aspiration. Our first generation thought, I want to make few lakhs good enough to buy the few acres of land.
And then go back.
Cultivation. Our whole economy in Bangladesh or Sylhet was based on agriculture. As long as we got some paddy fields producing some rice crops and so good enough for myself and my uncles, myself, my brothers and all these siblings I left back. So that was the parameter of our aspiration. So we could not. It was very difficult for us to sell to our elder generation that please join us because we need to fight. They would have taken the kick on the street and will not even mention to us. Our first generation will not mention to us, because if they do that, then we may react. Absolutely. So that's sort of, there was a lot of hidden, but it was certain situation was very visible. Like we was young generation going out to play footballs, and we were still heading, same thing when Jalal was staying in the other side of the Bara.
So after the passing of Al-Tabali, obviously you've made the message clear that we're here to stay, and you've been here. Let me just move on to Jalal Bhai with regards to the Prime Minister has condemned the current situation. He's called them thugs, and he's said this is nothing else but violence. What is your understanding on this? Has he made? Is he giving out the right message?
On this occasion, he has, but I think we need to go further. we have to call out Islamophobia and racism, and we need to be direct about it. Right. You cannot defeat racism by appeasing them. So far so good, but I do acknowledge that there are economic and social problems. There are deprived areas which are in need of attention. There is a division and inequality between the north of the country and the south of the country. Right. We need to rebalance our economy. Right. And if we are going to do that, then what do we need to do? We have to redistribute wealth. Right. There is no point in scapegoating migrants. That is temporary. That is not going to be long-lasting. That is not going to stick in the long run. Right. And so what we need to create is opportunities for all sections of the community in different parts of the country, and leveling up needs to happen. And I hope that the new government will be able to engage in that process. But for the time being, the racists have to be defeated. They are trying to create an atmosphere of fear within our community. So I see messages on my WhatsApp and other apps and platforms. Be careful, don't go out. And that is what they want to achieve. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, be careful, take care, but we have to be prepared to fight back. And so the thousands who came out day before yesterday in Waltham Forest need to be replicated all over London. I think so, yes. The message should be very clear to the racists and the Islamophobic elements within society. We are ready. You are the few. We are the many. And of course, that is why there will be a public rally on Sunday, this coming Sunday, at the Altab Ali Park at 5 p.m. And I want to see that a lot of people from our communities, black, white, anti-racist, come out willing to take their position against racism. And of course, so far, there has been a lack of participation from our younger people. Yes, yes. Because I have been on national demonstrations.
How do we encourage these younger people?
I hope this program is going to reach out to some of them, and that is why we are doing this program in English, so that it is easier for them to understand what we are talking about, what we are concerned about. We need the young people to be replaced by older people like me and Shiraj and others.
Yeah. I think he touched about the participation of young people. Yeah. Even within my one family, I tell you what happened. My daughter was advocating when this thing started about Palestine and all. Okay. She was rather concerned through social media, talking to her friends. They went to, though I said, look, make safe distance. I was out of London on that particular, Saturday. There was a frequent demonstration. Yes, yes. She went with her friends, mainly women. But I told her, please, I cannot be with you because I'm on that particular weekend. I was out of London. So I cannot take your name, and you cannot be driving anyway to central London. So you pick up the bus, the central line from where I stay. That's fine. You can go. I support that. Yeah. But the question is, though she didn't vote for Labour, she voted Green. You understand how the young generation, if you train them, educate them, that's where you are. You can't play with their choice. You understand? Right. So the problem is she went. I asked my son one day when I was going, I said, Kamal, you understand? Yeah. So imagine the difference is that our women are more serious about Palestinian demonstration. You will see the ratio of our young women, the daughters and all. Young girls are more actively participant and going than the boys. The question is, if we compare their presence and activism within the Palestinian, defending Palestinian and rights and all that, in our direct impact on us, like the Muslim as our community in Tower Hamlet and beyond, we don't see that. Young generation are not coming out on that sort of level. You see, so what we need to see, they need to really care for their own community and care for the area they live and work. Not necessarily they work, they may not be working in Tower Hamlet, they live in Tower Hamlet, may not be working because the symbol, Tower Hamlet is symbol of our Bangladeshi pride, a symbol of Bangladesh. Under any circumstances, no matter where we leave or go, the Tar Hamlet should be remaining in my heart that this is the place I should be defending, and if my blood requires, I'll be willing to do that. Yes, sacrifice that. Because we created, my father is not, anymore. He himself, Jalal was not very popular to his father. I wasn't popular to my father because my father wanted me to join him in his factory. Similarly,
that's what
you see,
want,
but with 4 years I couldn't. I couldn't even earn any penny to support brother. We was living on our father in a hotel, you understand? Because the kind of things we used to do, we could not find enough time. The time was required. To protect our community, 24 hours, day and night time was required. During the night, without sleep, we used to protect and patrol those areas. Now our young generation, what they're doing, the newcomers from Bangladesh, or any kind of visas or whatever, they don't have no clue what we had to face to. And
for their safety. And that's what these youngsters need to do still now.
The reason we were successful because we are more collectively organized. Collectively means our number was less, but we reached out. Bengali, Pakistani, Indian, Sikh, we managed to share information. We managed to support each other. You don't have that support structure anymore. But the question of him, we didn't mean the Muslim and Sikh and Muslim. Sikh used to get beaten up being a Muslim. More than us, isn't it?
In fact, after the 9/11, a couple of Sikh people got killed as well.
Right.
Yes.
So this is the reason what I say.
Unfortunately,
your neighbors attacked today, you will be attacked tomorrow. So we should not allow that it didn't happen to me. It is not my job, or it's not my issue. Please, young generation and old,
it will affect everyone.
Enlighten yourself. Do come out, listen, and be part of the movement. We're talking about part of the movement. Not necessarily you have to give up everything. You are much more well equipped now, much more well managed now than what we used to be. For you, we never worked.
Be part of the solution.
And you are working, earning, living, and everybody in the family has got education and all. Now, but anyway, one thing I need to really touch, why we see the situation is repeating. Again, I mentioned about the political polarization. Some people enjoying, they got boot bank of this kind. That boot bank means the people who are not fit for any purpose. I mean, not educated enough, or they didn't have any opportunity. That is because of the last 15 years, when Conservative came into power, they even removed the sort of, the higher education grants, the amount of grant they used to do, and even the grant kit, what is it? Once upon a time, we had the free education up to a certain level. Higher education was free.
Yes.
Now it is very difficult. So the young generation will have to take on a lot of debt before they get qualified to have a job.
Right.
And the qualified to have a job is not anymore, I can't take you because I'm in an area, I operate in my business in Canary Wharf. I can tell you that we have in Canary Wharf cheap labor, cheap IT kind of labor, highly educated, highly trained from India, Sri Lanka, and other part of the whatever third world they call, and they're cheaply recruited. The corporate organization find easy to recruit them because if they are employed in their company somewhere else in other part of Asia, they will only bring them here with some additional support. They don't have to pay full wages here. You see, so they can easily manage their book and increase their profit. But here, if they recruit someone from the native country, they have to pay different kind of salary.
So this is the reason.
This is the reason the educated is not getting the job, and uneducated people, layman, who doesn't have any education because he He could not avail that because of the funding.
Thank you for your message, Shiraj Haque bhai, and also what you've just earlier message about the youngsters to get involved. Both your messages. Thank you very much. I'll go to Farhana Zaman again. Now, what we talked about earlier on the safety. Do you think that the Metropolitan Police have deployed enough police in this situation for everybody's safety?
I think government did an okay job. Yeah, they did a good job with the riots and deploying the police officers on the ground. And also the sanctions, there were some penalties. Some of them went to jail, for a few years. Some court hearings are happening. It's okay. I think our job as a community, we should have our ears and eyes open in politics. We shouldn't be blind in politics or say it's not my cup of tea, because as you can see, it affects everyone. Politics is about eating. You think about the economical infrastructure, what you buy, cost of living, safety, everything is politics. I urge young people, please do get involved in politics. If you don't think politics is your thing, you can at least support other people and vote for the right candidates and support people, encourage people in politics. The other thing is what both of my brothers said here. Young people should get involved, but you have to know when and how. And there are support out there. There are websites like Hope Not Hate, Citizen Advice Bureau, and other charity organizations out there. You can call them, you can go on the website, you can speak to someone. If in fear, or if you think there's a threat, never go alone. Think about the timing. At this current situation, I'm not saying this situation is going to last forever, but at this current situation, be strong, be wise, don't travel alone, take someone with you, avoid wider crowds. You know how people, especially in front of the pubs, they get drunk, they're not aware what they're doing. Especially for the sisters, avoid traveling at night time, alleyways, things like that. These kind of safety precautions, like I said, you can find in websites. You can speak to somebody who's more experienced in that. And just to add finally, that please work collectively, like Shiraj Bhai and Jalal Bhai said, work collectively with the older generation, with the black, white, Muslim, non-Muslim, work together in unity.
Thank you very much. We're going to go on a short break now. We've got beautiful messages from all three of our guests, but join us very soon.
At this crucial moment of the match, what can we expect from number one all-rounder Shakib Al Hassan? The team needs its crucial only 6 runs from just 1 ball. I think we can count on Shakib. Oh, what a bat! Where is the ball? It's gone all the way outside. It's the boundary. It's a 6. That's incredible. It has gone to the clouds.
Life is like a game. Choose the right team to win. I'm at Work Permit Cloud, British Business Immigration Champion, for bringing skilled workers to the UK.
Let Work Permit Cloud guide you through the immigration field.
And you will win the game of life.
Choose the right team to win.
Work Permit Cloud. Cloud-based solution for all your immigration needs.
সোনালী সুপারমার্কেট আমার প্রিয় সুপারমার্কেট
আমারও বাংলার ঐতিহ্যে ভরপুর সোনালী সুপারমার্কেট ওল্ডহাম ও বার্মিংহাম
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to What's the Story. If you have just joined us, we have been addressing the current riots that have been taking place all over the country and the attacks, the atrocities, especially on the Muslim community. Is this Islamophobia we are not always allowed to mention this. It looks, well, it takes a toll when we mention Islamophobia. What's the reason for this? So all these issues we have been addressing, and I have got my three guests with me, and I'll go straight to Jalal Bhai. What do you think about the way that the police are dealing with the protesters, and we also have anti-protesters? Do you think they are being fair with both the parties?
Well, Nigel Farage once again claims that there has been two-tier policing, which is not true, because he is trying to stir up hatred. The police have so far been even-handed. Those who are attacking people have been taken to task. They are being arrested. They are being sentenced. They have also taken to task a smaller number of people who are involved with the anti-racist protests. So far from what I have seen, I think they are doing a fair job. Because Nigel Farage, all he is interested in is stirring up racial hatred. And he makes claims that are not valid. And of course, he gets a lot of attention from the mainstream media. So this is the same guy who told us that Brexit will give us the economic opportunities that we need. And instead, what have we got? We have got cost of living crisis. And this is why a politician like Nigel Farage should be taken to task, and he should be boycotted by the mainstream media and the establishment, because he is stoking up racism for the benefit of his own political ideology. And he is trying to create divisions within society so that he can rule. And we must be vigilant about this, and we must challenge him.
So you think police are doing a good job in terms of dealing with the situation? And we also know that there's been a few sentencing as well from both sides. So today on the news, I've seen that the anti-protesters, a few of them who may be attacked. Obviously, we can't take the extreme stance of going that much further and attack back. But however, we do need to fight in the sense of going out there, protesting against them, and putting what we feel is correct towards them, right?
Self-defense is no offense. If our community is going to come under attack, then we have to respond. We don't want to create ugly situations, but we have the right to defend ourselves and our communities. And of course, in that context, whatever has to be done, has to be done. But so far, the situation is under control, and the policing policy that has been initiated is working. So let's see what happens in the near future.
Okay, thank you. What do you think, Shiraj Bhai, the hotels and that's housing immigrants, all these attacks?
Obviously, we got quite a few issues which contribute to this sort of uprising of this racism or racist fundamentalist and all. Say he mentioned about the self-defense. Obviously, after the death of Al-Tabali, we formed Hackney and Tower Hamlet Defense Committee.
Right.
Hackney and Tower Hamlet Defense Committee. We went in the name of defense. Truly, we was resisting as well as doing some preemptive action,
right,
which was secretly operated.
Okay.
Those days we were secretly operated, preemptive. We cannot be seen doing it, but we had to do it because our community was very small. You understand? Community was very small, so we had to do everything possible in order to, correctly and all that. So it's a lot of issues we can share in secret. But the question is, that is one of the things that the right of self-defense. The leader of the world, those claim to be very civilized and very human right advocate, the American and Rishi Sunak as well as our steamer, they all say that Israel has a right to defend itself by cutting off the water, food, electricity. In fact, everything they did was not right at all in the the humanitarian law or in the law.
Double standard,
They claim that this is right. So for us to go out and defend our own territory and our livelihood, own territory, because we are not going into the racist territory.
No.
We are.
Well, this was my question,
area.
you see, without addressing what's happening elsewhere, if you can just focus on Britain. Now, the hotels that are housing immigrants, if they are, I mean, how do they defend themselves? Because they are putting those places on fire.
I understand that this is not only happening here. There was also some other European racist countries, they're going and attacking immigrants anyway, visible. But I would suggest that this is something we cannot do much.
Do you think that others are taking advantage of this as well, of the situation, and coming out and attacking? I mean, it seems like a festival for them to me.
This is the bread and butter. Uncle Nigel, bread and butter issue.
Yeah.
Immigration. Uncle Nigel, the stupid guy's bread and butter issue is the Brexit.
Right.
And everybody in the world knows, every Britain knows, Britannian or British knows that, or the right wing also knows, that because of his and the donkey like those, what is his name, Boris Johnson and all that, which proven fact they were corrupt and they did it. They are the one who created the economic mess for Britain now. The crisis we are going through, living crisis and all that, that is created by themselves. Those people created. Who benefits? There are syndicates who benefit out of that. So the political corrupts and the external syndicate who create this scenario for their own benefits are all together.
Well, this has been happening for ages and ages. Throughout history, we know that the Britons, I mean, what they caused to the external world,
I have a solution.
They did that themselves in the beginning.
I have a solution for Uncle Nigel and anyone associated.
We'd like to know, yes.
Yeah, I've got a very good solution. That let's square our accounts. You know, Uncle Nigel's, your forefathers or your ancestors went to Bengal. That Bengal was the richest part of the world. Bengal alone was possessing 27% of the world GDP. 27% of the world GDP. That's called Bengal, Bangla, Bihar, Odisha, and all those areas. That's a history, that's a real story.
Yes,
and they went there to sell their product, to do some business. They went there, which in fact, because of their looting, they are looting they looted and in fact, they went to do some business, but their business concept changed into occupation. They occupied, looted the wealth, and they left us. When they left, the India's economy collapsed to 3% of world GDP. 27 when they went in, after 200 years, it should have gone up. But it went minus 0.23%. Imagine what happened in between. Where those wealth gone? It all came to UK. They looted here. We want them back. We want with interest. Nigel, Uncle Nigel and racist, please square the book. I will make the first one.
That's all good, but
go back.
It is not Nigel who's going out there and throwing the missiles.
But he's the politician.
Absolutely.
All these racist politicians. I seen somebody in a House of Lords joining in.
Yeah.
There was a speech I saw in the House of Lords. One of the stupid lord, he also talked about same thing, that we are the Islamophobic message and so on. He was giving them, scaring others. He's saying we've got to be very careful about these people, etc.
Not only scaring others, but also provoking their own people. And this is what I was going to say. It's a lack of education to these, I will say, thugs that are going out there rioting, because they do not know what you have been saying all this time.
The fair game is Germany is paying back. Germans are paying back so much of money to their Hitler's atrocities on, those... they did whatever he did to Jewish people, They are paying back in international, under the international law. They are under, that obligation to pay. So can we have the Nigel Farage and his uncles and all those forefathers to square the book. We should sit somewhere. And
I think just on that note, I think
then we go back.
It's the people in the middle who are causing the mayhem at the moment. They need to be educated. They need to know
the Nigel Farage
the immigrants that they are fighting with, or they are so-called, the jobs that we've taken from them and so forth.
Yeah.
In fact, it's on the contrary that we have, provided a good opportunity to the UK, bringing in businesses.
We create a job. All the immigrants,
this is what they don't know.
We create our own job.
Yeah, but what they seem to say is, you guys are coming to this country and taking our jobs, isn't it? Now, let me just go to Jalal Bhai with regards to what you've just mentioned. Is there any stance that have been taken in terms of educating, the minority people who don't understand? Because the people who are running the boat are the ones who are educated. They know what Britain has done. They know that we are actually giving back, not taking from the community. But the people that they are using, how do we address that?
There are some people that you cannot educate ever, because they are just interested in blaming others for their fate. And so the important message is this: if you are concerned about poverty, if you are concerned about deprivation, if you are concerned about other issues, and if you want equality, then what you need to do is attack the establishment. Stop scapegoating people who are not causing the economic problems that you have in this country. And of course, those people who are creating the economic problems are the elites in society, and they are playing a game with you. If you want equality and if you want fairness, then challenge the establishment, because the people that you mentioned who are staying in the hotels, who happen to be either refugees or asylum seekers, they are here because UK is a part of the Geneva.
It's a byproduct of what has been happening.
No, Geneva Convention gives them the right to seek asylum, and it's up to the government now to ensure that they get a fair hearing for their application.
So the riot should be against the government rather than the immigrants, right?
I'm not going to advocate that. What I'm going to say is that, you see, the real problems that we face in this country in terms of our economy, political instability, lack of trust in politicians, and incitement of racial violence comes from the mainstream political people.
Thank you. I was only joking, by the way. I'll take that back. Last question. I'll just go to Farhana with regards to what is happening right now. It seems to me that these thugs out there, they're actually enjoying themselves and they're not actually addressing the objective. So they're going out there. It's like a festival. What do you think? I mentioned this a couple of times. What do you think? Going and breaking windows and they're having a nice time, having a pint as well with it.
I think a lot of community organizing is needed and political education, and I'm just going to add on what Shiraj Bhai addressed about history. 200 years ago, Bengal was the richest part in the world, and for some reason it's not anymore. And if we go back 14,000 years ago, Islam came 1,400 years ago. Islam came for equality. Islam came to abolish slave trade. Islam came to give equal opportunity to women and girls. Islam is a very peaceful religion. Our Prophet ﷺ was known, but even by his enemies, as Al-Amin. He was a very honest, noble, humble person. Without any education, he made the most huge, biggest change, progress in the world in history.
He gave the rights to everybody, even to animals, actually. But the thing is, this education is not out there. Well, he was inspired by the divine, so he didn't need any education. But we're going into a different line now. Just going back to the festival, what I've just mentioned. What do you think? Because these guys seem to me they're having fun.
Sorry, I just mentioned that because I want people to be proud of being Muslim. Definitely. Islam is about peace. We do not attack, Bengali saying, Faso Angol Shoman. We're all different. Yeah. What we do is we get everyone united.
And we need to respect each other.
Yeah, and then we're strong. Yeah. but we don't. We can maybe punch back, like Jalal Bhai said, but we don't throw the punch. We lift it up and show solidarity and strength. And those
sometimes to attain peace, you need to throw that first punch,
need to be educated. At the same time, we need to be inclusive in society. I think we need to make more effort to engage with everyone and educate everyone.
On that, I see, I mean, you're talking about engagement. That's one issue. Very much necessary.
I was actually talking about because it seems to me that they're having a lot of fun. You know, it's happening all up and down the country. They're organizing it as like you're organizing a football match, and then they're going out with the hooligans.
Because this is
what I was talking about.
This is the way I tell you. They do not have any cultural education, or the society kind of the education which educates society how to respect each other, how to be. They are socially deprived, very badly deprived, socially deprived. I tell you, I mean, many of them probably only had experience of meeting at pub, not meeting over the sports, over the youth clubs.
But you know what, getting all these people together as well, especially after knowing that the facts are different, it stems from what you've just said. My question would be, do you think they've given some kind of incentive to go out there?
That's possibility as well. That possibility as well. And also, you blame game. You blame, you create a narrative and blame a certain sector of the community. And sometimes many feel better. Let's the attention is out from the government to deliver. You want government to deliver and invest in education, invest in housing, invest in business, economy, and so on. The easy way of dealing with it is to create the problem like that. So everybody's focus is diverted. Look, the rulers always enjoy to stop people and divert people from directly asking them what they're supposed to be doing, they're elected for.
So they can be on the top and rule. Thank you very much, Shiraj Haque. Now, I mean, we are getting to the end of the show, so I'm just going to quickly ask in 10 seconds, what advice would you give to our viewers?
My message to the racists, it's very simple. You are in the minority. You are the few. We are the many. We are against hatred. We are for hope. And let us organize on that basis. Bring together all our communities, because the anti-racists, as evident recently, will come out in our thousands and in our millions.
Thank you very much. You know, the first few parts, they need to be written down somewhere because it's beautiful. Thank you. And Farhana, Sister Farhana, can you just...
To the rioters, you don't know what you're creating. You're ruining shops, businesses. It's going to affect you and your children and your future generation. To the Muslims and ethnic minority, please do not fear. You are not alone. There is enough support out there. Be brave and be safe.
Thank you, Shiraj Bhai. Thank you. You as well, please, a little message from you. Yes, quickly.
Message is, you see, unity and coming out in a big numbers on sort of meetings or any kind of protest. It really works as a deterrent. It's a serious deterrent, you understand? The opposition, I used to always say that if your body is big enough and if you can be very, without fear, if your opponent think that you are not in fair, that's you overtake them. You understand? You just feel, mentally you overtake them. Maybe inside you in fair that you may be beaten up by 10 of them, but one, if he can stand, firm and display maturity, the others broken, they will break.
Thank you very much, all three of you. Just to the viewers, just be careful out there with the situations that's happening. Be vigilant, but be strong. Don't let them take over you or your emotions or your belief. So this is what I will say. Thank you for watching. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.